Hey guys, this is Jim Fix, aka Fillmore. For those of you who love QF, a podcast about Howard Stern, and would like to donate some money, there's two ways now you can do it. You can join our Patreon page, which is listed in the graphic you're seeing now. But also, if you'd rather not do a subscription-based thing, even if it's $1 a month or what have you, you can use our PayPal account, which would be jimfix76@gmail.com. And you can donate whatever you like, however you like, one of those two ways, and we'd more than appreciate it if you'd like to do so. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anybody, any engineers want to pop on? Tell me why Robin can't hear me.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I don't even know if I'm on the air right now. So
Howard, you were not being heard by anybody.
I guess I'm not. Hello?
I can't. I don't know that he can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you right now. Now you just froze.
The Howard Stern Show.
See, I had a weird, confusing early sexual fantasy, and I was always mystified by it. I was into the TV show Honey West.
Yes.
Anne Francis. She was hot. Blonde, big boobs, the whole deal.
Right.
And my mom got me a book, a Honey West book, and I was reading about it, and in one little page in the book, Honey West was like bound and gagged by a group of dudes, and they were going to do weird crap to her. So I remember laying in bed as a little kid, imagining that I was Honey West strapped down in the bed,
really?
spread eagle.
Now that's weird.
So I said, wait a second, I might be gay.
Really? Why do you want to be Honey West?
Why am I identifying with Honey West?
I think you're just a masochist.
Strange.
I think that's the thing. You know, you want to be tied down.
I wanted to be tied down. Yeah.
Like, it dawned on me like 2 days ago, my hair's going to get crazy because I don't have, I'm not going to get a haircut. And then Beth goes, I'll cut your hair, but you can't cut my hair because my hair is curly. It's
hard to cut your hair.
Would you do me a favor? Would you pretend that I am Bahati? I'm sitting here. I'm going to be honest with you. It's hot in the garage. I'm wearing a bra top. And I only have panties on. I'm being honest.
Can you go a little slower? Just talk about it.
You have underwear on under that robe?
There ain't nothing gay about him.
All right, like the one main thing I was talking to these guys about yesterday, when we went to Las Vegas, it was 3 days of shows, porn stars, strippers, everything out there, right?
Yeah.
Howard starts off the show, his first observation is he saw KC down at the pool with his shirt off. Like, that's his first observation.
Yeah, but what you don't lie,
5 hours later.
Why are you eating home fries? You getting a little bit of a belly.
Oh, look at his dog.
You know I like my girls shaved.
Making out with the guy in the back seat.
I don't think it was at that time, Howard. It was another time. It was like he was just on the side, like he was in front of his house making out with the guy.
Oh, they couldn't even get indoors.
No, they were on the street.
But wait, what is this about the book?
He's caught.
I think Ralph really did this.
Did you make out with a guy?
Oh, Ralph.
What happened? What are you, high?
No, this is...
I was gay way before I met Beth.
Welcome everybody to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, Fillmore, aka Jim Fix, and with me as always is Sam. How are we doing, Sam?
Hi, guys.
We are doing this. We're doing this one as an old request, and I believe originally it was Natalie Panaro-Stack who was really eager for us to try to do this. We're going to review the last appearance. Well, the John K appearance, not the last appearance, but the last little while, and the one big John Kricfalusi or Kricfalusi, depending on how you pronounce it. We're going to call him John K for the purposes of the rest of this podcast, forever after here. And we know that this was a big moment because it was a complete sandbag moment where we know that Wiggy was just, especially after the fact, really jealous of Billy, treated him like shit. And he was not he was a utility player. He was only 3 days a week on at the show back in those days.
Not only that, but if you listen to Billy's rise, it was kind of just something that organically happened, and then he became such an integral part. Mm-hmm. And obviously they knew that, and he wanted more money, which he rightfully deserved because he's the talent. He's talented and he's making the show funny. Right. And so it really blew my mind that First of all, Howard blamed the station for not wanting to pay him enough, which is just crap. And then his fall from the show was just so sad. At least they announced that he left, because now they just disappear into the abyss. It's like the Bermuda Triangle for employees.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, I'm going to read a couple things before we go into the video. First of all, we have to address the fact that John Kay fell from grace through scandal, basically. There's a documentary called Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy. He, of course, was the creator of the Ren and Stimpy show, and he illustrated and did some voices as well. And Billy worked on the show. I remember when I was in university, this was like the cartoon everybody was watching. It was just demented, and I thought it was all right. But
you were an adult. I was a kid when this came on. I thought this was the greatest cartoon ever. So I guess I would equate it to, well, now even SpongeBob is old. So what? I don't even know what kids like cartoons are for now. I used to like. So Ren and Stimpy was. It was on Snick. There was 4 shows. It was All That at 8. And Ren and Stimpy, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I think there was one other. Oh, Clarissa Explains It All. So that was the lineup on Nickelodeon, I believe, like those shows. And it was so hilarious. I can remember still some of the bits. I had the dolls. They the Ren and Stimpy dolls where you push in their stomach and they fart. I just loved the cartoon. I thought it was so great.
Yeah, I liked it, but I was a little older, and just it wasn't something I was the age to be fanatical about. Although I suppose you could be fanatical at any age. It just wasn't my interest. I was more into music at the time. And South Park was huge. South Park became massive amongst the undergrads. And at any rate, there's a couple of articles that I can direct you guys to so you can read for yourself. I'm not going to, because it's they're pretty long, but there's a Variety article called so Ren and Stimpy creator slammed for apology to underage girls. Basically, he blamed his underage fetish on being like ADD, or he had attention. I can't remember what it was, what he said here, bipolar disorder and poor impulse control. And it was a non-apology. And then BuzzFeed was the original article, I believe. It was called Drawing the Line, the disturbing secret behind an iconic cartoon, underage sexual abuse. So 2 girls that were groomed by him, basically. And there was a statute of limitations that expired on the charges, so he never had to do any time, but he's retired from the business, and any projects he's had have been mothballed, and he's disgraced, essentially.
Isn't it so interesting that so many of these child agents, child movie people, child TV people, programming people in that business, there are so many people that have gotten roped up in pedophilia with this. It's really bizarre, especially through the 80s and 90s, when it was parents trusted kids with these grooming, like, I'm going to make your kid famous, and you just like hand your kids off.
Well, what about that Dan Schneider asshole? The one, like, he was in charge of all those Nickelodeon shows, wasn't he?
Right, yeah.
Why isn't he behind bars? Why hasn't he been Epsteined?
I don't know. There's quite a few that aren't. It's really bizarre. Nickelodeon does have a little bit of a dark history.
Oh, actually, yes, geez. Darker than Walt Disney. Where I mean, people died on rides, and they're still kept them open and shit. So at any rate, this was what I went. There's a good Redditor from 5 years ago that really, I don't know if he still exists, but he went through the year of the months before 11/1/95, which was November 1st, the last day that Billy was in. And he said, I noted a few subtle things that I hadn't remembered. A few of you have touched on these. 1, Billy wanted to go 5 days after Ren and Stimpy was canceled. The announcement came through. He wanted the job security. Howard ripped him on air and appeared cold to the idea, saying that 3 days was enough. 3 days a week was enough, Billy. That sound like passive aggressive Howard?
He didn't like Billy was a draw.
Totally. Yep. The John Kricfalusi ambush, originally set up as a mystery guest Billy ran into in the bathroom before the segment. okay, I don't know why anybody would call this radio gold. It was awkward, mean-spirited, and had me squirming every minute. I am certain this soured Billy's relationship with Howard, although I'd love to hear what Howard's reasoning was for doing this all. Howard was going through a really angry phase at this point. Some of that stuff with Mancow was cringeworthy. And this is a third part. Howard becoming number one in Dallas. Now, this I had never seen mentioned, but I'm personally certain that a part of this event really pissed off Howard. In the days immediately following Howard becoming number one at the Eagle in Dallas for the first time, I don't remember the call letters, but it's a radio station, Howard did his typical chest thumping and read a news article from Dallas about the accomplishment. The news article credited Howard's accomplishment, but as a tagline mentioned that the true talent in big print was on the show was the unsung Billy West. When Howard read it, you could tell that it caught him by surprise. Robin would hand him a lot of stuff unscreened. In the following weeks, Howard became increasingly snappy with West. Sniping had him under his breath. In one instance, Howard tells Billy to stop improvising and just stick to doing voices. In another instance, Billy laughs at one of Howard's jokes, and Howard calls him out for forcing the laugh. Billy defends himself by saying he genuinely thought what Howard said was very funny. Howard grumbles that, I don't need you. Lastly, right before the end, at the very end of a show in October, Billy is doing a great Jay Leno, and Howard makes a comment, Jay, why are you and your wife negotiating for less vacation? And Billy answers in Jay's voice, job security. And Tom Chiasano wanted Billy to take sign a waiver, basically assuming liability for any lawsuits coming from people he impersonated, and that was fucked. And so we're going to play some clips that in the second part that indicate what Howard really thought about him after the fact, and he's flip-flopping between the history of Howard Stern immediately after Billy left and in the ensuing years where you hear some dribs and drabs, he flip-flops, and he's saying, oh, we loved him, and then, oh, I couldn't care less about him. So which is it?
So, I mean, we go into the nitty gritty of it all, but if you dress it down, Howard, any real shot of talent on that show will be eliminated.
Totally.
Because, and look at it is, it is, and it was. We are now dressed down to an aging queen in his basement doing a podcast and no one else but laugh tracks and pre-recorded bits. So good job. You seriously axed everybody because you're a fucking narcissist that can't handle that people are talented. No. You have to be the belle of the ball and the only one spinning around.
And as a result, I think you guys are going to appreciate it. It's probably going to be 2 parts, and we're going to go through it as best we can. So unless you got anything to add, Sam, you want to go start in on it?
I miss you, Billy.
And we're glad you went above and beyond and totally now, like he's never going to go without work. Voice actors can work until they're dead.
He's a class act. He made good money. He doesn't need to be in the limelight that he was in. I don't think he even relished the fact that he was famous for being on the show. He just liked performing and doing his thing.
Yeah, and he's since taken the sort of classy way to go about it by blaming management, which is, avoiding getting into trouble with Howard because he is still afraid of litigious Howard. But I think in his heart, and certainly his wife V certainly know that Howard was responsible for all this. It was Howard's call. And if Howard wanted to get him more money and get him full time, he could easily have done that.
I think maybe if Howard becomes less powerful, maybe he would say more about the experience, but he waited out very smart. He just knows his personality and his vindictive side, you know. So I think he thought, you know what? I'm not even going to risk it. I'm not going to say a goddamn thing. It was a great experience, and watch me go.
So later on, also, guys, we're going to play from the history of Howard Stern, in which they had Billy come back and talk about his time there and what happened, and you get other perspectives from people on the show. So without further ado, we're going to start on this shit show Sandbag.
Okay, real quick, because I got a mystery guest, but it's not a mystery guest to us. It's a mystery guest only to Billy.
I don't know who it is.
What?
No, it's not.
It's not?
Nope.
Why?
Because Billy knows.
Oh, Billy knows?
Yeah.
How did he know?
He ran into him in the bathroom.
Oh.
So it was completely planned.
And Billy's face looks about, oh my God, he looks so not excited.
No. And
he looks sullen.
Yes, and you can tell. Like he will tell. You'll talk later about when he gets interviewed with Stuttering John and with Jackie, and he'll tell you that this wasn't a reason for him getting pissed off. But watching this, he's totally fucking pissed.
Yeah. This is like when, you're a news anchor and you have to do a piece with like Cardi B. You're just like, go fuck yourself.
Sure.
Good work again, Fafa.
Way to stash the guest.
Well, then what good is having the guy in?
Well, I can't send him away now.
Do I know?
But you would never guess who it is. It was a funny story.
Oh, it was a Billy story.
Is it the... No.
Well, don't guess
Billy
now,
still
Billy.
wants to guess.
Billy still wants to
How many
guess.
people do you think are here that you would know?
I want to suspend everybody's belief.
How did you mess this up?
I was in here. I had the guest coming at 7:30.
Good job, Gary.
You come in at the same time. You got to make arrangements for that.
Yeah, I didn't think.
I didn't think that should have been in his autobiography.
I mean, really, it's Gary right now would be like, he looks like, a host at a shitty Italian restaurant, and he like a surprise party for somebody. He's like, okay, just let us know when the guest is here. And then he, goes to the bathroom when the guy walks in, and everybody's like, surprise.
He looks like an old maitre d' at Vesuvio's.
Yeah.
try the scampi. So the thing
colored
is,
shirt.
oh geez, yeah.
It looks like baby throw up.
The 90s were not kind to men's fashion sometimes.
That he'd be here this early. He was not due here till 7:25. Billy gets in the studio at 7 o'clock and never leaves.
It's my fault.
Be here this early.
My butt gave us away.
So you met him in the bathroom?
Uh-huh.
So what happened? What was Billy's reaction when he saw you?
He was pretty cool about it. He just turned around and kind of went like this, but then composed himself real quick.
So was this the first time you saw Billy since the show?
Yeah, I've seen him on television a few times, but not.
No, but you've never run.
Now he's such an awkward human being. I mean, but if the only thing you knew from John K was this video, you'd think he was a creep. Before we knew what we found out, before we found out what we know now, he's just really, really odd.
Yeah, I was gonna say he reminds me. We used to have at Mia's daycare when she was younger. We'd hire the daycare would hire this person called Saxman Slim, and he would do like animal balloons and play saxophone and do songs. And he wore like a suit like this, and he was so awkward. And I'm like, always got creepy vibes. I was like, who does this for a living? Like, like, why are you doing this? It would be like this. It was like awkward. Like, hey, so do you do birthday parties and stuff? And like weird, just a weird guy.
Sounds like
Slim.
Sounds like the Mr. Softy guy that the Iceman Kuklinski took out, who served ice cream to kids, but was a killer on the side.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I don't know how people stand on this, but when you find out that someone is, how do you feel about this, Sam? You love this, I don't know, movie, whatever it is. For me, it's like Kevin Spacey. That's the word. That's the one that comes up. Or Bryan Singer. When I found out that Bryan Singer was a really fucking atrocious Hollywood creep, I couldn't watch his films anymore. I made a conscious choice to say I'm not watching any film he directs. So that Bohemian Rhapsody, which I like Queen, but I knew he had his hands all over it, I wasn't going to fucking watch it, and I never did.
I feel the same way. Even with this Epstein thing, people still have like Alan Dershowitz on like for news pundits and stuff, and I'm like, who's listening to this guy? He was named all over this. I mean,
as far as I know, it's still ongoing.
Right. And do you think that this girl just made this up? Well, I mean, so specific. It just doesn't sound it just doesn't sound right. And it just freaked me out. And I was like, ew, really? And I have no interest in watching people who are creeps.
Yeah, well, the problem is like Cosby. Can you watch like once the Cosby stuff came out, that show? I've never seen a more precipitous fall from grace. And not that Cosby was A-list, but his legendary status in comedy sort of ensured that the Cosby Show would always be on YouTube, and there's still clips on there. But I can't even watch the Cosby Show anymore. I cannot watch knowing what I know. It ruins something. It just something snapped.
That one really, in the beginning when that all came out, I was like, no way.
Right.
I really thought no way, because I loved that show so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I really cannot watch that at all. It just freaks me the fuck out. It actually makes me like nauseous.
Yes. Especially because of the way he portrayed himself on the show. So it's even John Kay, like, it's just an animation, but principle for me trumps, like, you can't change your gut. Once you get a feeling like, fuck this, I can't endorse this person anymore, you can't even watch their old stuff, unfortunately, I find. You can't even, like, Kevin Spacey, after the allegations about him came through, and he got pretty much disgraced and he came out as an asshole with that bullshit apology. I'm not a molester, I'm gay. That whole move.
Oh, yeah. that was the worst. I was like, you have the gall to go up on stage and try to be brave and make yourself now something to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Right. So he ruined, now Glengarry Glen Ross I can't watch, or at least the parts that he's in. And then what do you call it? Jesus, what was the other film? The Usual Suspects. I love that film.
Beautiful.
American
Beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all these things are ruined after that. I don't know. Somebody else might beg to differ, but what the hell?
Into him, like, personally,
So no, he's beyond my means now.
What do you mean by that?
He's a very well-to-do fellow now. He doesn't assort with lower types anymore.
I had this really cool thing planned.
Yeah.
See, Billy on our show, who does all those great voices, does the voice of Ren and Stimpy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he says the whole time: Stimpy. He can't pronounce it. It's Stimpy.
Cool. He does really cool things.
He gets it wrong the entire time, and no one corrects him. Ren and Stimpy.
He's a 79.
He is Alfredo.
And he got hired by this unknown guy to be the voice of, which one were you first?
Well, originally I was supposed to be both.
No. Forget about originally. Which one did you get?
I was hired, contracted.
Let him tell the fucking story, Howard. If you don't know, why are you correcting him? Why aren't you telling him originally? Just he'll tell you the fucking story. It fucking irritates me. God.
I love hearing his voice, because they used to do the bit on Ren and Stimpy, log. It was this log fabulous thing. It was like you just play with this log, and it was, kids are playing with this log. It's so stupid, but it was just so funny. I mean, his voice was great.
He was
the voice of Stimpy.
All right, Stimpy.
Yes.
All right. So
the cat.
Yeah, Billy was hired to be Stimpy the cat on Ren and Stimpy, and the voice for Stimpy is the Larry Fine voice that he does on our show.
Yeah, super.
Let me hear that.
Happy, joy.
Do Larry Fine.
Hey, Mo, I peed on my shoe.
Yeah, that voice. So.
Yeah, let's downgrade it. Let's make it like he's talentless. Let's
not
hear
only
your
that,
voice, Howard. Where are your impressions?
Not only that, but he's also claiming ownership. He's saying you do that on our show. Like, we're the reason you got that gig. That's what he's implying.
What is show business? Somebody sees you on something, somebody hears you on something, and then they want you for something else. What else is show business? Howard treats show business like a state job. Like, people don't stay there forever, fuckhead. You don't die at your desk in show business. You migrate. When a season ends or a show ends, or you decide to take a different, you got the lead on a movie. I think I'm going to quit the show, the TV show on WB or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Oh, no, that's terrible. You need to die at your desk. That's what show business is. What an idiot.
I think the way it is now, if JD did die at his desk, no one would notice for at least a week. I think here with this particular thing also, I'm sorry to slow it down, guys. It's there's something up his ass, definitely. Like you can tell, just everything's derision. The whole thing was, you can hear it and you can see it in his voice. It's typical Howard anyway. He loves when people are fighting or when there's disharmony. But it's almost as if something turned off in his head where he said, I have to get rid of Billy somehow. I have to marginalize him until he fucking quits or is miserable.
He did it with Artie too. I mean, Artie
Sure.
had his drug problems, but he did it with Artie.
But
He
not
did it with
originally.
Jackie.
Like it didn't happen overnight. It was definitely a slow build to, I guess, resentment. And if that's true about that article being, and I didn't go through the 95 archives, I have them. If it's true about that being read on the air, I could see that totally turning a switch on his head and going, fuck Billy now, forevermore.
Who's the one where we did the horrible goodbye?
Oh, Scott Einziger.
Yeah, Einziger. He did it with Einziger too. Just the slow build to go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. You fuck.
That's right. That's right.
I guess this guy who was creating Ren and Stimpy heard you on the show or something. I don't know. I don't know how you got that job, but
Oh, I don't know how you got that job. It's show business.
You know it, Howard. You've been out of it for ages.
Yeah, he acts like show business people have to, like, go into, oh, I'm gonna go into this store and fill out an application. No,
Yes.
that's not how it works out.
Mm-hmm.
You're in
And
show business, dummy.
And here's the irony: Howard making maybe making a living on the radio, but he's not actually doing voiceover work for like Saturn or like Pontiac or or Toyota or something. If he doesn't have the voice that he doesn't want to make money that way, he's lazy anyway. But if you're really like a voice, if your voice is your power, why didn't he take these gigs? Because he just clearly wasn't talented. He's a nasal, whiny fuck, and Billy can sound like anything he wants to. Billy was a marvel, still is.
Right. Yes.
Like he's talent.
And radio guys used to promote, like good radio guys promoted products, or people asked them to do advertising for certain things, and they were synonymous with a product or a company or a thing, and that was just about how it was. And also, Howard, how do you think you got your jobs in radio? Do you think you filled out an application? No.
Mm-hmm.
People heard you and they said, okay, sure.
Right. And you also audition, like you go out for a job and maybe you get it. And in this case, he auditioned and got it. What the fuck is it? What kind of question is that, 79? I can't wait for 79.
right?
I met him in 1988.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, he hired Billy. He gave Billy a break and let him be Stimpy. So the guy who created Ren and Stimpy gets fired by Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah.
And I guess he expected Billy to leave with him. Billy just took the guy's job and
he did both
voices.
Oh. Just like you did, Howard. Just like you did. What? Oh, I'm sorry, NBC. Robin, where were you? You were drowning in Friendlies. Well, fucking. You know what I mean? It's just fucking. It's just guys, picture a hole and just fill it with fucking cookie dough ice cream and whipped cream and cherries. That was
Right.
Robin, and he was, driving down to New York.
You thought of that. That's interesting because you went that way. I went the what about anybody? Joan Rivers? Anybody? Joan Rivers show? Anybody? Like this is your friend, but you went in and tried for her job anyway. What loyalty did you have, shithead? I would have thrown that right in his face, right then and there.
Well, of course. The intimidation factor of Howard, to me, now that we've been doing this for so long, I don't get it. Like, I look at this little weasel with a wig on and glasses, and I'd be like, go fuck yourself. Who are you talking to?
Right. And I think if he had heard that more in his life, well, he wouldn't be where he is, I suppose, but he would be a better human being. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. If Billy said this, he'd be under the desk crying in the fetal position. Ray would have to come get him.
Yeah, she'd have to put the thermometer in his ass again.
But you know what? I don't blame Billy for what he did. I would have screwed the guy over too.
Nope. It would have been silly.
He didn't screw him over. The guy fucked himself, and this is what Billy's going to kind of go into later on. John Kay could not. This is the undercurrent, guys. Most people don't understand this. John Kay was missing production. Yeah, sorry.
I I feel like we're pronouncing the name wrong, so let's just keep calling him John K. Because I can't pronounce it right either.
That's that's why. Anyway, John K. John K. was missing production deadlines. He was being he was slowing down the process of the show, and then he got canned. Now I don't know how it worked in terms of like trademark. Would he get money from the show because he was a creator? I'm sure he did. Should get residuals because the creator credit never goes away. But unless it's it's been proven you ripped it off from somebody. But he got fired from his own show because he was he was just holding things back. And from what you hear from everybody else, he did it to himself. He was just impossible to work with. And you only really find this stuff out after the fact, years later, these days.
I mean, if I think about it, they were churning out episodes so often. Like Snick was once a week, new episode, Ren and Stimpy. Animation was done so differently back then, and it must have taken so long to do those drawings and cartoons. So if you're waiting on a writer or a voice to create a sketch or create a drawing, I can't imagine how annoying that must have been.
Oh yeah, especially when you're guaranteed. You're telling sponsors, yeah, we'll have another one out. Yes, we're going to release. Things have to be on a schedule when it gets like that. It's no different than a regular TV show.
I used to, like claymation, like Gumby. I'm like, knowing how that process worked, I think to myself, Jesus Christ. If anyone slowed that down, it's just like insane how slow that is.
That's right. So in those places, and then eventually becomes like a conveyor belt, and that's why quality control can take a hit. But sometimes that happens in the business.
All right, get the guy in here now that it's not a surprise. It sucked.
So basically, the Ren and Stimpy production crew, the production basically fired everybody, and then they rehired people based on, it's like, okay, we're starting from scratch. Let's see who's the best person. And in case of Billy, who was a hired gun, essentially, it's like, no, get him back. And he's a professional. He'll do the job. He'll do all the jobs we want, and he can do it. So why wouldn't you have him back? You didn't have problems with Billy. You had problems with John K.
And he also was going from radio work 3 days a week
to
now a steady paid job where I'm sure he got, benefits from. And
unions.
Why?
Yeah.
Yes. Why would you turn that down?
Yeah. And the other thing is, of course, that it wasn't like John K. and Billy were roommates. They weren't like Facebook. It wasn't like Zuckerberg stealing Facebook from or John Hines stealing Jump the Shark from his roommate or his college friend, buddy, whatever. He was hired to do a job. That's it. There was no solidarity.
And there's not this, you guys have to think about terms too of, yes, there's an abundance of kid shows and YouTube and so many platforms kids can get content from. But back then, Nickelodeon, Disney, and maybe like PBS were the only things. So if you did need a cartoon show, there's 10 tops?
Yeah. Yes.
If that, you know what I mean? And some of them have been running for years that are never going to change. So you're lucky to have that.
Mm-hmm. So like The Simpsons, but that really doesn't count because it would have been like, that's just a show. That's basically like a sitcom.
I had a whole thing planned. It would have been funny.
Oh, well.
So you ran into him in the bathroom? Were you shocked?
No, not really. I mean, I just haven't seen him in a long time.
So the great reunion happened in the bathroom.
Yeah, so any type of dynamic happened in the bathroom because Baba Booey doesn't know how to put this show together.
Oh, dear.
What kind of dynamic? I'm standing there going,
Oh, wow. You're the guy who created Ren and Stimpy, huh? John K.
Okay, so he's bringing in stuff that he's plugging, and at this point, there's no scandal. It's just, he's not blackballed in the business, so he has other things going on, and he's got stuff in development. But this is the thing I had to ask you. He knew he was coming in, he was planning, but the guy pitched to come in. This wasn't one thing where Howard reached out or somebody reached out and said, "Can you come in and fuck Billy?" But the motivation to have him in, because Howard greenlights everything, is let's make Billy uncomfortable. There's no question in my mind that's how it went down.
Yes, the jealousy thing spurred from that article, and we've snowballed into right now.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a case like he actively sought this guy out to have him in to fuck Billy. It was a confluence of guy wanted to plug, they found out, oh, Billy had a thing with him. Oh, why don't we make this really uncomfortable for one of our workers? And then that was what you're seeing.
Subsequently, from that article, I do remember Dallas, him talking about Dallas a lot more than like he was very concerned about the Dallas market. And I remember him talking to a lone radio station. It was a woman. I remember he used to talk to her from Dallas because he got kicked off of Dallas. I think it was like after the Selena thing.
Well, that comes later, I think. Well, no, 95, same year. You're right.
So he had after that, like almost like a drive to make sure that he was number one in this market and he was super popular there. And I think that had a lot to do with, now that I'm hearing about this article, he didn't like that he wasn't the talent. The super talent.
Well, it's exactly like that census thing that they put out and had all the serious people asking them who your favorite person on the show was, and when Artie won, like he tried to blow it off like, whatever, I don't know what the fuck this is about, but that bothered him to no end.
Oh my God, that was the gremlin that you just don't pour water on, and all of a sudden you're just giving it a couple drops a day.
Yep.
Oh, that's the guy who created.
Oh, there he is. Billy. Who's the babe with you?
Oh, these are my pals here. This is.
No, I mean, who's the girl?
This is Leslie. That's my.
Sit down and talk to him.
Sit down. Now you got to get in the microphone. You hippie artists are like too out there.
He doesn't look like a hippie artist.
He looks like one of those beatniks.
I'm not. He looks like a pedo. I'm sorry. He doesn't look like a beatnik.
And Gary, like the least professional person there is. He's like Artie Bucco, where you're just like, you know why you're not moving up? And Tony like had to like yoke him up and say, change the fucking menu. Stop talking to people so much. Yeah. They've heard your stories. Cut it out.
This makes me laugh too. The assistant is in there and Billy has to share a microphone with her. That's how fucking cheap they are. They don't have unlimited mics. Now, okay, obviously you're not going to have 300 mics for everybody that comes in there. But every time there's a guest, you should have the capacity to have one of those boom arms available for somebody. And even in the newer studio, when you got to Sirius, it was kind of like that. Someone always had to have a remote mic.
We run a podcast and we mail people mics.
Pretty much. That's why you're going to see sound improvements, guys. We're not fucking around when we say the money goes into the show. And thank you for all those donations coming in, guys. Keep them coming, please.
The hippie or the hippie?
No, but you know what I mean? You look like one of those guys in the village who are like avant-garde or something, right?
Hey, very clean
I'm a decent
cut,
American.
No,
actually,
but I mean,
I'm a decent Canadian.
And we apologize, guys. Yes, he is from Canada. I can't remember. I think Chicoutimi, Saguenay, Quebec. And,
what did he say? Avant-garde? Because he looks like what? Andy Warhol with the glasses? Like what? I don't understand. He's wearing a suit.
We couldn't explain avant-garde if you fucking put a gun to his head and handed him 7 thesauruses. So yeah, now the Inquisition starts.
He's clean cut, but he's got the wacky glasses.
Yeah, he looks like somebody who'd be in the fashion district, actually.
Yeah, looks like Buddy Holly's father.
So just saying he looks queer. I mean, just say it. You guys were the F word was so like normal at this time in '95. So I don't know why they didn't just go out and say it. But I guess you're going to insult the guest. You can't do that. And they want him to go after Billy. So yeah.
We are going to be.
Really? You're going to be in the fashion district?
I'm here promoting my new line of clothes with Cy Devor.
You are an animator, right? I mean, by trade. And what are the odds of having a hit cartoon? About 1 billion to 1?
Probably something like that.
Right.
And 50 new cartoons every year.
And I just to even get Ren and Stimpy on the air, to convince somebody that Ren and Stimpy would be the thing to produce, because it's very expensive to produce animation. It could be like $300,000 for a half hour, right?
It's even more.
He's not joking about that. I've seen the nowadays with computer animation, probably a lot cheaper, but still, it's no joke when they're trying to get that stuff together, because you have to hire so many people to do the animation, and it's got to be perfect if they're doing it by hand, because a lot of people insist on hand-drawn animation. But in most of the times now, Pixar is kind of cleaned up in the market, but there's still a demand for people to do things by hand.
Yeah, if you ever watch the Pixar documentary, that's a different style of animation, but it goes into the costs of that. And just when they were first starting to do it, the weight of, oh my God, if this doesn't work, they were just spending themselves to death. It's a lot of money. Animation is a lot of money.
Shitloads. I'm sure, and like I said, as technology's improved, I'm sure Pixar's costs have gone down, but it's not cheap. And but I still love the old like Don Bluth, Dragon's Lair type animation, like Pete's Dragon and all the Fantasia, like the old Walt Disney stuff. It looks so incredible. Fantasia, I saw it a few years ago, the remastered version of it, and it looks stunning. It's just unbelievable.
It really, I love old animation. I'm a fan of it.
Me too. And it's such a difference watching Mulan versus watching, like Sleeping Beauty.
I know, or Snow White.
Right. It's like they got one animator chained to a desk with half a steak, like that's all he's getting until he's finished, and then you get the old animators who were just like slave driven but dedicated. Anyway,
yep.
Let's continue.
More
now it is, yeah.
And Ren and Stimpy is like real minimal.
Yeah, it wasn't the most elaborate cartoon.
No, it was high end.
Was it high end?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Especially now.
Really? Didn't look high end to me.
Yeah, I would think Batman.
What a fucking idiot. Do you know how much detail went into Ren and Stimpy? Christ's sake, that thing was so elaborate.
And there were so many episodes. Like I said, they weren't churning them out like, a movie blockbuster once a year. It was every week.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It was high end.
Yeah, I would think like Bugs Bunny's high end.
Well, I mean, compared to like Beavis and Butthead.
Well, Beavis and Butthead's real minimal.
Yeah.
And they have Koreans drawing that who barely know what the hell they're doing. Did you have Koreans drawing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
sure did.
super.
I guess that you can't get it done without Korean.
Those Koreans draw like
airplane hangars full of Koreans.
Yeah,
Boy, are they fat.
yeah, that's what they do. All the animation that you see, they never do in America because Koreans, for some reason, are willing to draw little pictures.
Well, haven't you seen those artists who, they draw so fast?
What are the Koreans?
Well, this is actually kind of cringy because he starts to get a little racial here, Howard, obviously. But then also, the truth was that Japanimation became so overpriced that Koreans started doing it for less money, absolutely, but still not cheap, and were just as good. Like they became copyists. It's like Toyota copying Ford and improving on it. So just a little cringe. Just a note to watch the cringe alert, guys, because it's gonna hit. It's gonna ping red pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, this week, I think Biden, he signed a anti-Asian hate crime bill, which, will do probably nothing, but it's signed. So hopefully Howard got the memo and
it scrubs this on YouTube.
Koreans do. They get an airplane hanger, they pack them in there, and then they just have them
scribble,
draw each little hand movement and stuff at a time. They have to keep redrawing and drawing and drawing. You think with a computer now, you wouldn't have to keep drawing the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean, John?
They'll get to that point. But right now, it's the Mongolian hordes.
Is it really? The Mongolian hordes just sit there and draw these little pictures over and over again.
You know what I hate is when he doesn't know something like this or the process, but he just assumes something and shits on it. Like, I don't, why don't we do it like this? What? You don't have a fucking clue. Shut the fuck up. That's like going into, I don't know, let's say a college math class and being like, you know what? I'm going to erase everything you just wrote on the board. Why don't you just do it like this? But you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about.
I just
start writing smiley faces all over the fucking chalkboard.
You're right, but it's that whole radio shtick where he's just got to kill time, and I think, especially in this particular video, it's because it is so awkward, and he's nervous himself because he's not getting the reactions he wants. He's not getting Billy like storming out. That's what he really wanted, Billy to get angry or something, and Billy's just not giving it to him.
Yeah, so he's trying to create conversation, just like this is awkward talk. This is like cab talk.
Yeah, filler bullshit.
What does it take? 8,000 of these drawings for one frame.
Yeah. What do? You just shove rice under the door and they keep drawing.
We don't do it. We get other people to do it.
Isn't that cool, though? I mean, no,
it's not cool.
Think of all the poor black people that could be drawing here.
No, he's talking about the fact that pretty soon the computer's going to put all those Koreans out of work.
Oh, that's going to be great.
That actually did happen. That actually did happen in the Pixar documentary. They talked about how they basically just fired so many animators.
Sure, of course.
Hey.
No, that won't put them out of work. They'll be on the computers.
Oh, will they? Yeah,
You won't need as many.
Right. Well, there'll be other Koreans that'll have to fix.
Fix the computers, I see.
Massive unemployment hit Korea today when all cartoon were done by computer.
He's this is Ching Chong predecessor, guys. This is before Ching Chong Charlie.
Mr. Miyagi animator.
So anyway, that's pretty, a lot of people don't realize that all that cartooning work isn't done here because we're so greedy with our unions
Very
and
little
stuff.
is done here anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of
We're
sad.
so greedy with our unions. What?
It's the companies. The companies decide they want to make more money they want to pay less for the same amount of work. And the unions don't really have a say in that. Like, what are the unions going to do? Lower their salary, lower their hourly rate so that it can be maintained, like in the, it's fuck you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
and this explains more that whole anti-union thing Wiggy is because God, if that staff was unionized, he'd be alone just like he is now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, of course he's going to be anti-union.
Totally.
How many unpaid interns pass through those halls?
Big time.
All the black people who live in Harlem could be drawing little pictures.
Why do you say black people in Harlem?
You know what? Did this conversation inspire Robin's the charity she donated to? Scenarios?
People who are underprivileged in this country.
Then say the people who are underprivileged.
Well, no, it's black people in Harlem that are underprivileged. They've been screaming that for years. I keep seeing it on the news.
Oh, you know what? Harlem was doing just fine. Thomas Sowell was from there, but let's just turn it into a welfare state. Keep going.
We don't give any these little pictures to draw to our black people.
We do, actually.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy, we actually brought back a lot of the artwork that is traditionally done overseas.
And gave it to the black people?
Yes. Say, I give Billy a job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Billy's a black person.
Yeah.
He is kind of black.
Jesus Christ.
Why does he do this? Like, even if you're having awkward conversation, why did it have to go to
black, Korean,
Asian
rice?
Like,
right. Because he's racist. Like, that's his go-to. It's one of his go-tos, right? And it used to be anyway. Now,
so no wonder Robin was flopping around like a goldfish out of water on the Sally stage because she had to defend this.
She had to defend this. And this is the same year.
Born in Detroit.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah. No, you know what I mean.
As many as we could find.
Are any little pictures drawn in this country?
We did a lot of all the poses on Ren and Stimpy were done here.
Oh.
Normally, that's completely done in Korea or China.
Yeah, it's always people with yellow
China,
skin.
Korea.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're willing to work. Like, what do you have to pay a Chinese guy to draw pictures?
Bucks Uncle Ben's.
You know what it is? Their actual writing, their letters, are little pictures.
Okay, so first of all, he's retarded.
Yeah.
Chinese writing is, yes, they're characters, not pictures. And yes, it's backwards. Like you read them from right to left, and I think left to right to left from the book if it's a book, but you're actually reading, I believe, up, down, left, right, like left, right, left, right. It's very unusual. But you do have to, if you're learning Chinese specifically, and I know that a lot of Koreans do have to learn it as kids. I'm not sure exactly why. That used to be a very big tradition. It is like art. So it's not uncommon for kids to get into calligraphy, and from calligraphy to go on to animation. And animation's huge. It's still huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff gets outsourced all over the world, and Asians do love their anime. There's shitloads of it. I wish I had Wayne on to talk about it because he's almost like an expert in it.
So they love to. They have a lot of practice drawing pictures.
Well, they had a head start.
Yeah, those aren't words. Those
Letters.
pictures. Those aren't letters. Those are pictures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You ever see that funny Chinese writing?
Backwards.
Funny Chinese writing.
Funny. Yeah, exactly. Well, he thinks.
Why is it?
He's 79.
It's funny.
It's.
Okay.
No, I guess so. But I think he finds the English language funny because he can't read that apparently either.
Hey, John knows what I'm talking about. He's been over there. You've been over to China?
Yeah, I was in Taiwan for a bit.
Right.
Taiwan
What
ain't
is
China.
it? Why?
Taiwan. Wait, stop. Taiwan is in China. It's a sovereign part unto itself, even though Americans are so afraid to say that. Hi, John Cena. Go fuck yourself.
I just saw that blind. That was kind of funny.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Is they willing to draw those pictures?
Comparatively, yeah.
Wow.
Pretty cheap.
It's a shame that we can't draw them here. It'd be neat. I mean, half of Harlem would be working.
Yeah, but it's also
Oh my God.
What the fuck? What is it? What is it about? Like, first of all, even back then, guys, this ain't a social justice warrior thing. I would never have found that funny. I would have just thought, what is this? Is this guy only got race on his mind?
So, and then he's also race baiting in the fact that Korean and Chinese people are taking away animating jobs from Black people somehow because of the way they write. Like because they write letters, so they know how to draw pictures. So guess what? You're not getting any jobs, Harlem. It's so bizarre.
What about Queens?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be Harlem?
Yeah. What about Chicago, Buffalo?
Exactly. Yeah.
so a shame we can't enslave people like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like, not into that.
We got over that stage.
That's stupid. We should enslave some people here. And those people aren't enslaved. They just want to work for cheap.
Oh, please. That's all there is.
Okay. They just want to work for cheap. This is all self-soothing bullshit to make himself feel better for basically having a slave labor culture at his show for 30-something years, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you guys have to pay for the crayons, or do they
Bring their own.
do they bring their own crayons?
We send them to.
No, you know what they do? They probably charge them every time they break a point.
Yeah.
They leave there with no money.
Anyway, John, we're getting.
God.
No, you know what they do in slave labor? They, blindfold you, put you into a car, like the Uyghurs, and when we get made in China, it's probably from them. But, that's fine, Howard.
Well, I mean, the other thing is there's always room for an unfunny Robin aside when this stuff happens. And if you want to play a drinking game, every time Robin opens her mouth and you go like, what was that for? What was that about? What purpose did it serve? Did it advance this fucking story? No, just can carry on. We know what she's getting paid for.
Sidetrack. So you come up with this idea for Ren and Stimpy. And you convinced Nickelodeon to do it. And it was a pretty out there idea. It was a pretty far out cartoon, right? And
I always thought it was kind of normal.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But getting it on TV couldn't have been easy. It couldn't be easy.
It was
because
different.
At the time it seemed really peculiar and odd, right?
It took about 10 years to sell it.
Really?
We were talking about the age of Muppet Babies and that sort of thing.
Okay, so please go ahead.
I do remember. So, like, I used to watch Rugrats, was super popular on Nickelodeon, and Doug. It was like Doug Funny, and those were the popular cartoons on Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
And Muppet Babies was too. But when Ren and Stimpy came out, it was so ironic and strange. It had bits within the cartoon, like segments, almost like a Saturday Night Live type thing where it was like skits within the show.
Yeah.
And peripheral characters that just came and went. It was so bizarre. Yeah. I thought it was just hilarious, and it was so unique.
Yeah, it was non-linear as well. Sometimes the storytelling, so it could go. It was almost like it really was off the wall. So you didn't know. It was like following a marble. You don't know where it's going to go.
You know what? A lot of 90s things, which I miss, like this is my Adam Sandler reference, just funny shit to throw in there for no reason. Like, why is there a penguin in this? Or, you know what I mean? Why is this scene here where it's just Norm Macdonald and some drunk guy on a lounge chair being like, hey, Billy's not here. This is just like a bunch of daiquiris around. Like there was just like random, weird, funny non sequiturs thrown in, and the cartoon had that.
To sell it, that's no easy feat. So you finally conceive this thing, get it all together, you get it on Nickelodeon, it takes you 10 years to sell it, you get it on the air, it's a hit, you hire Billy to be one of the voices, you give him a break because you remembered him from years ago, right? And then Nickelodeon decides
they're trying to paint a picture like Billy's this shit heel for, not aligning with John Kay. That's the big takeaway you're going to get from this. And then he calls Ben, and Ben calls into the show. I so wish we had heard from V, Billy's wife, because she wouldn't get on the air. But she's such a great when she would call in.
A lot of these wives, like, I think Fred's wife used to give it to Howard too. Like,
big time.
Go fuck yourself. Like, No, you're whitewashing this entirely, painting it into a narrative that's spinning it the way you want it to be spun.
Exactly.
Should we take our shirts off?
Then Nickelodeon decides to
What happened with Nickelodeon?
fire you because you're difficult, because you were not producing enough episodes
Yeah,
fast.
you know what? Don't let anyone tell the story. You just tell it, Howard. You know what? You have two people sitting here. What happened with Nickelodeon? Here, I'll tell you, because I know, just like every interview he has. Thanks, 79.
Right. It'd be like, so did your mother get you into acting? Because if she got you into acting, what was that like? I guess she got you into acting, right?
She must have been terrible. Must have been a horrible, definitely a stage mom. How did that feel to have a stage mom that got you into acting?
Did you hate your mother for getting you into acting?
I'm sorry, are you awake?
Enough because you said, hey, look, we can't just produce episodes. You got to have some good scripts and you got to have some funny ideas. Let's have a couple of less episodes, but make the show high quality, correct?
It's sort of the opposite of that.
What was it? You wanted low quality.
Should I add this into the 79 episode?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please
Okay.
write that down.
Okay, hold on 1 sec. John K. Retardo question. Jesus, he supplied the wrong question, the right question, not even the right question, a half pseudo question and the wrong answer, and was completely shot down.
It reminds me of like a kid who didn't read the book, you know, and a teacher's like, can you tell me what happened in this chapter? Well,
And he goes, look at this cover. Isn't this a brilliant cover? Look at the artwork. It's so wonderful.
no. Finn just had to paint the fence, and he just decided he was going to hold up everyone with a gun and said, you better paint this fucking fence.
Yeah.
We were producing them too fast and too cheap. So they took them over and produced them slower and more expensive.
And that upset you?
No, well, yeah, I guess it would upset.
Why did you care how fast or slow they produced them?
Because I wanted to work on them.
Oh, I see. They took over the production of them, and therefore people thought it was your work, and it wasn't your work.
No, I don't think anybody thinks it's our work anymore.
Right. So
when they started...
Every fucking assumption is wrong. Every single time he assumes something, it's the opposite. This is like Robin and Mr. X not getting anything on the Newlywed Game correct.
And it's also, so this is when you're going into these, it would be like producing like a niche thing when you first have a cartoon. But then if you have to make a product every week at that level, you're going to have to extend it out. You're going to have to, you know, McDonald's isn't, you know, your local diner. Right. You know, they got to churn those they got to churn those Big Macs. I'm sorry, Burger King is Whoppers. I don't eat that. Yeah. But it's like, you know, they got to make the product faster. That's what people want. They need the episodes.
That's right. And you may have to compromise sometimes and release an episode that isn't as good. So like it's a B- instead of an A. You know what I mean? Like it's still on the balance of a season might be okay, like a perfectly acceptable, just not one people are going to go back to. Big deal. There are no shitty Seinfeld episodes. There's tons.
Right, like David Chase. He didn't make every single Sopranos episode. He was a part of a lot of them and a part of, you know, the creation of it and whatever, but you hand it off to other creative people because you have to. That's just how it goes.
That's right.
With the faster or slower production, you were gone already.
Well, it's kind of, you know, a long story, but we were in the middle of the second season when they took it over, so they finished up some of the ones that we started.
Right. Isn't that nice? They take the creator of it and squeeze them out.
Yeah, you're gone.
According to John, anyway. I'm sure they have their own side of the story. But go ahead, John.
Yeah, the side of the story where they have to finish episodes because they have to put them out because now they were committed by contract, I'm assuming, by Nickelodeon to produce a certain amount of episodes per week for Snick. And what's going to happen if Snick doesn't have a new Ren and Stimpy cartoon for kids at that 9:30 time, which was when it was? Because Are You Afraid of the Dark was at 10.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You've already pre-sold ad time to advertisers who are told there's going to be an episode at 8 o'clock or whatever the fuck time it is on such and such channel, and it's going to be this long, and this is where you put the slot. So a lot of work goes into this shit. It's not just hope you'll get it when you get it.
And let me tell you, the advertisers made a shit ton of money because kids had nothing back then. So it was Friday night TGIF, which was ABC. So the lineup was Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, and fuck, I'm forgetting the last one. I think, yeah, something like that. And then Saturday was Snick, and it was the same family shows. Everybody watched them, and so I bought all the fucking products like they sold. Gak, Floam, Yak Backs, whatever toy they pushed on those shows, every kid wanted.
Yeah. So they were plugging like crazy. Like they were absolutely like really pushing that agenda.
Oh my God. I bought everything that they sold during those shows. I mean, every kid did. We had it all.
That was your heroine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, we'll give your side of the story. Screw them.
Well, the idea is that Nickelodeon was sitting there with a hole in their time slot.
So, John, are you mad at Billy?
No, I'm proud of him.
Be honest.
No, Billy's a good guy.
He is?
Yeah. He paid him back.
How?
No, listen, here's what happened.
No, be honest. You're a little perturbed, are you not?
No.
Oh, come on.
Disappointed. Please spin the narrative the way I want it to go. Make Billy look like a shithead, please. I'm begging you.
Yeah, take out a butcher knife, stab him, please.
Yep, exactly.
He's some slack. He's proud of his chosen profession.
No, I know Billy's proud, but the thing is that you guys were kind of a team. You were doing the voice and everything together. You were the hey, how you do the voice, whatever that is.
I don't know if I can do it anymore.
Yes, you can.
Was fucking Dennis Franz and David Caruso, were they a team on NYPD Blue, or were they two different actors who had different parts, signed different contracts, and were completely different human beings?
It's the same thing he did with Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
He does this, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. He did the same thing. Come on, you guys. Are you dumb? They're two working voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
And one's a creator, fine. Was he and Robin were a team when he fucking left her and Fred high and dry, going to NBC?
And I would consider that even more personal.
Absolutely. You're spending more time with them than any fucking actors are going to spend on a TV show together, aside from taping and whatever rehearsals. But it's like, Jesus Christ, you'd think he'd have the self-awareness, but no way.
I wish Billy read the Paul Colford book and was like, "Oh, Howard, weren't you pushing Robin to take that $100,000 contract and leave you? So you didn't feel bad? So you didn't feel bad? So you could leave and not feel bad?
Sure.
Weren't you doing that?"
Yeah, like, I guess you'll have to take it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's in Robin's book as well. It's more in Robin's book, the way he explained it. I guess you have to take it. I guess you have to take it. Jesus Christ, that's some endorsement. It means I'm not going to bother plugging. I can't do anything for you. Fuck it.
I can't even imagine $100,000 for that fucking talentless asshole.
She was just about, I think, guys, in the Marbles episode, we explained it being like almost 100, like over 5 years. By the time the 5 years, like 450,000 over 5 years. So, you know what I mean?
Go ahead, do it.
Oh, what I am gonna do to you.
Right, see? And then Billy would do his other little goofy voice. What's that?
You bloated sack of protoplasm.
Right, so you guys used to get together and do the voices and everything.
Hey, Ren, will you button me?
And then when you got fired, Billy stayed with the cartoon and took over your voice.
Notice that he had to fucking denigrate him as well by saying his goofy voice, one of his goofy voices.
Yeah, this would be... Could you imagine, like, having Tom Hanks and Tim Allen in and be like, do the Woody and the Buzz impression? Remember when you said, you're a toy?
Great callback.
Did you really expect Billy to leave?
Yeah.
You did. You did expect Billy to leave.
Yeah, well, he told me he was going to.
He did.
Billy, you backstabbing.
No.
Billy said to you that he was going to leave.
He was going to leave, but then he called me up. He and his agent called me up, and they said, "Listen, John, we were going to leave, but I decided we're going to pay Nickelodeon back instead.
Right.
We'll get him for you.
Right.
We're going to gouge him really good."
Oh.
That's funny. I'll tell you what. Billy's
at
trying to
Howard's
take the high
face.
road. He's trying to take the high road and not explain that John Kay fucked himself.
Exactly. He's trying to do. It kind of reminds me of like how James Franco got in trouble with all that shit, and Seth Rogen didn't really say much about it. He like
Correct.
sidestepped it the best he could.
Mhm.
But since then, Seth Rogen has been basically doing comedy like he's going to fall into a lava pit at any minute because he
Yep.
knows the woke mob is just,
They're just
ready for
waiting.
him.
Oh,
They're
yes.
just waiting to fucking shoot you dead.
Well, okay, I'm going to throw something at you that's in the realm of the Me Too sort of thing. And I want to ask your opinion about this. When the Harvey Weinstein thing came out, the consensus amongst most of the press interviews that given that of the articles and articles released and stars that worked with Miramax for a lot of projects, especially like Affleck and Damon, the sound bites you heard was, we knew he was a philanderer, we knew he was like a whatever, a tough guy or mean guy, whatever. Do you believe that they all knew that this was going on?
100%.
I firmly believe that anybody in the camp of the Shakespeare in Love camp, like Gwyneth Paltrow, absolutely fucked him for a part. She absolutely like sucked his dick, massaged him, whatever. Someone said Meryl Streep knew. I'm certain anybody with enough power in the industry as an actor knew about it.
I will go one step further. I think everybody in Hollywood has some sort of cesspool knowledge, and it's all, you keep my secret, I keep your secret. You don't tell, I won't tell. You want a part, shut your mouth. You want this, I'll give you that. Don't say this, don't say that. Don't talk about this, don't talk about that. I think it's all that. So this entire huge Me Too thing, to me, rings so false. Like I was just like, what are you doing? These actresses and their like pussy hats screaming Alyssa Milano. I was just like, you know what? Fuck all of you. You guys act like you didn't grow up in this, especially the kids who have grown up in Hollywood. You all know what's going on. All of them knew what people were like. And it's a seedy industry in general. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
And you get big balls when the person's like in their pile, when they're getting piled on, then you throw a punch.
So I think Billy was doing his best to not say anything.
Yes.
Because again, I do think, and I think this was part of the practice, like, yeah, that person's a creep. We know this, but we're just not going to say anything about it, especially if they have some sort of power or they have the possibility to fuck over our career, because these kind of jobs are so fragile and rare.
Yes.
And they're not like state jobs.
Right. And the idea that someone has the capacity to maintain omerta about in the industry will serve them well in another facet. Like if they decide to go work for Warner's or they decide to work for this company, that means they know they can keep a secret. That's unwritten. That's sort of unsaid and it's unwritten. But the idea is, we can trust this person or can't we trust this person? That's the big question.
It's an entire different economy in the sense of the people who you're keeping the secrets for are the ones with the capital, and the actors and the voices and the people are the labor. And so wealth is built on the cooperation of capital and labor. And the cooperation and the agreement in Hollywood is you keep your fucking mouth shut or I'm not giving you the capital. The end.
Yes, yeah, you didn't see me blow these two 13-year-olds, like you didn't get me blown by two 13-year-olds. Here's the other one I was thinking of. Pauly Shore was on Joe Rogan. I hate to take you down this rabbit hole, guys, but I think you guys might enjoy some of these stories. There was a blind item about Pauly Shore complaining on Joe when he went on Rogan, and he complained about how his career went in the toilet. What he fails to mention, and this was the blind, that Denise Richards at the time was a call girl for working for Heidi Fleiss. And she was one of the top earners. And it's I believe it. I mean, she has no acting ability and she's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. She was at one point the hottest chick on the planet. And apparently she was a huge high price hooker, same as Catherine Zeta-Jones, as the stories go. And Pauly, his career was flagging, but he was coked up one night and he was forgiven and comped everything. Hotel rooms trashed, coke, bad behavior, back green rooms fucked up, didn't matter, but people started getting sick of him. So one night he gets Denise, and he had the habit of getting coked up and drunk and abusive, like violent abusive. And she said, no, I'm not going out. And then he promised more money. She went out with him. He beat her to within an inch of her life. Heidi Fleiss and I think it was Charlie Sheen. Basically, they got their leg breakers out. They went after Paulie, beat him to a fucking pulp, put him in a bag, and hung him on the Hollywood sign in L.A. And he got blackballed. Like a movie exec, I think, was also involved, and they all basically hired leg breakers to strip him, beat him to a pulp, put him on the Hollywood sign, and that was it for his fucking career. He never mentions that.
I'm flabbergasted.
Mm-hmm. And then they ended up, the exec, or I think whoever it was, they paid for her facial reconstruction. They threw in new tits, and her career starts to flourish. And then you start seeing her in Wild Things, Starship Troopers, all these films. She had, quite a go of it. A Bond film. She was a Bond girl, for fuck's sake.
I don't even know what to say.
You never heard that story?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. It was Amazing Blind, because apparently she would do threesomes with Heather Locklear and Charlie Sheen. And Heather was up for anything. She was she's famous in The Blind.
Anyone married to Tommy Lee is no Mary.
No. So anyway, it just reminded me of the idea that you certain amount of bad behavior is forgivable up to a point. And then even in Hollywood, you cannot get away with it. Like, they will somehow, there's some kind of, I don't know what it is, but basically, if you don't make money, you're fucked. You start affecting the bottom line. That's really when the stories come out. So with Ellen, I don't know how it happened. I think it was just literally, I think Twitter. It was originally started with Twitter, where people started sharing Ellen's stories, and that was the genesis.
Listen, social media has been the worst thing for celebrities, and the best thing for like regular, nobodies.
Civilians. Yeah. But I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that comes out that, it goes on social media, and they're trying to desperately go after people with nothing. And that's how social media can be the detriment. But I agree, in this situation, it was a tool. It was a great tool to use against Ellen, because otherwise, who knows how long it would have gone on with her and Weinstein, for that fucking matter. Jesus Christ. Horrific stories, especially the Weinstein stuff. Jesus. Anyway, I digress. Sorry, guys, for that trip down blind lane, but I hope you enjoyed it.
I see. Billy's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, we're going to make a fortune off it.
And they were going to give you the money.
Well, yeah, Billy gives me a cut.
He does, really? Is that true? Billy, is that true? You pay him a kickback?
Right away. Work for you?
Yeah, Howard. People get paid for their work, for their talent. Hi, everyone that used to be on the show.
Right.
Nothing. Getting goose eggs.
Yeah, well, this is the thing that I didn't quite get. He was working for the station, Billy was, and then he would sit in on the show a few days a week, I think 3 days a week, and he wanted compensation, basically, because he knew how fucking important he was. And I'm certain his wife told him, look, you got to ask for more money. You deserve more money. When these headlines come out and they're telling everybody that you're the talent, you need to be paid a proper amount. And Wiggy was never going to pay. He was never going to go to Tom and say, yeah, he's necessary. We need to give him money. No way.
Never sharing marbles.
Nope, never. Don't ever go after his wallet.
Oh. Right. I was going to say, what are you, nuts?
What daydream am I waking up in the middle of?
So, in other words, there is a little bit of animosity.
No. This isn't what Billy did for me.
All right, go ahead.
Right after he took over the show, he sent me a box of Red Hots.
Right.
Uh-huh. Now, I'm not talking about 6 Red Hots.
Right.
Not 12 Red Hots.
Box
not
of
a
Red
couple
Hots.
of packages. A box of Red Hots.
Why?
Like a case.
Why did he send you a case of Red Hots?
That's my cut.
Oh, I see.
That's my cut.
So you are pissed.
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, first of all, Billy didn't take over the show. The show was owned by other people. I don't know what the fuck this John K. is trying to get on with. Billy was still a hired gun. He never wasn't a hired gun at the show. He didn't have creative control. He didn't have a fucking a say in the matter. They gave him lines and he read them. Yeah.
He sold the show.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Fuck.
Doing comedy.
Yeah, right. No, in other words, you spent 10 years getting your dream on the air, and it would have helped if there was solidarity if Billy and everyone else walked out.
No, it still would have. No. it still would have been owned by Nickelodeon or whoever fuck bought it, whatever
That's
company
correct.
bought it.
And put the
For
money
whatever-
behind it.
Right. So they might have said you can have creative control of this amount of time or seasons. There might have been, stipulations with it, which is probably why they got rid of him and they didn't have to pay him. I'm sure that he signed a contract with it. Yeah, you can do the voice or you can have some sort of creative control over it, but we own it.
Mhm.
You sold it. Here's the money. We gave you
You
money.
brought it to us. You brought it to us. We worked out a contract, and I'm sure who knows what clauses were in that contract that
But
could
here
have
we
even
go.
been
Magic wig loyalty. Like
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
out of nowhere. Yeah, Wigdini decides he's going to create fucking like magic out of a non-issue that's really, out of I don't know. It's a
Well,
combination of
he
John
acts
K's delusion and Wig's delusion.
He acts like these Hollywood contracts or this sort of like high level sort of thing is like blood brothers. Like you broke an oath.
Yeah.
Dude, we're not sitting in a treehouse cutting fingers. It's a fucking professional atmosphere, asshole. Like, what are you talking about?
And did Howard show loyalty to fucking Les Moonves and Infinity when he started plugging Sirius on the air a full year and a half? Did he show loyalty to them, these people that got him all these markets when they were dropping like flies after his divorce and after the Selena thing, when he started getting into controversy with the Columbine comments to make up for the marbles he lost from all the fucking markets he lost?
Billy gave me a BFF necklace. I have one half of the heart and he has the other. Like, what?
You think John Kay has a locket with Billy's picture in it and a dagger in the other one?
It meant something. It's really...
What a fucking... Jesus is weird.
They probably would have had to bring you back, true? And listen to some of your demands.
That definitely would have happened, yeah.
Right.
Oh.
But that's okay. We got another cartoon coming up.
Oh, you do? Huh? Yeah, but what are the odds of it being as successful as Ren and Stimpy?
Will you be...
Should be better. Should
Really?
be more successful.
Would you be
We have
hiring
practice now.
Billy?
Will you be hiring Billy to do one of the voices?
I can't afford Billy.
Is that right? Billy, man, you're something. I would have done the same thing. Hey, he's not there.
Now, I would have done the same thing, putting words in Billy's mouth as if to say, like, okay, yeah, I would have been a scumbag. You're a scumbag. That's what I'm saying. You did a scumbag move, and I say I would have done the same thing. Well, Howard would have fucked anybody over, but he's presuming he's trying to tell the story for you guys. Billy's a shithead.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, I was thinking about this. It's funny because it ties into John Kay. At some point, he had some talent, obviously, to create stuff, but some of these creators are a little fucked up to begin with. But Howard, who wanted to put, Howard the High School Years, he wanted to put Doomsday, all these cartoons in this fucking animation he decided he wanted to put together, and that never came to fruition because he didn't want to bankroll anything, is going to tell Nickelodeon, like he's going to say this, have all this wisdom about Nickelodeon when he himself was too cheap to promote his own shit. He had no faith. John Kay went with this, sold it, and at least you give him that. Howard has no authority on which to talk about any animation series, anything.
I know. I said that. And I also think, too, the only animation, the Backside Boys, remember that animation?
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant.
Well, it's brilliant only now, especially when we think about what we know. Well, we know certain things. What's that? Get KY. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
Are we going to live in a 4th-floor walk-up in Hollywood or something together?
But John probably feels you should have had some integrity and cared about the quality of the product and everything. True, John?
That was only one segment of my life, though. I mean,
No, Billy.
Assigned.
John feels, hey, this was an important cartoon. It was breakthrough, and in order to keep the quality high and to keep your reputation intact, you should have been in solidarity with John. Am I correct, John?
As an artist.
Well, it wasn't just me. You got to understand there was like 50 people got fired.
First of all, Billy didn't have a stake in it, so why should he give a fuck?
He's employed.
Right. Like, you don't incentivize the guy. Why is he going to walk out with you? Why? It's not even like their family. I don't fucking get this logic.
Yeah, Nickelodeon would be like, okay.
Yeah. Hello, Carlo.
Right.
It wasn't one person.
Billy slept every night. He could care less.
Hasn't missed a night.
Hasn't missed a night of sleep.
Sleeps like a baby.
And Billy probably feels like, hey, look, this is a dopey cartoon. You know what I mean? But seriously, this is how I would think. I'd be like, hey, I got hired to be a voice on a cartoon. They want me to do 2 voices? I'll do 2 voices.
50 voices.
Sounds like
did
John.
all the voices.
Yeah, right.
I did them all.
Yeah, well, Jesus Christ. Dopey cartoon. Again, he's got to put down, now he's putting down John K. Now he's putting down the cartoon. He's putting down, like, Billy's contribution to the show. And it's this whole, do you remember more recently we did the planks thing? Fuck that guy. I'm too busy. I got to talk to the guys. I can't do a fucking 6-hour plank.
Minimize everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know
Look
what?
at that guy.
Just, Billy, sit back, bask in your success, and look at the show now.
Yeah, look at like Usain Bolt winning the 100 meters, setting a world record for fastest man. I can't be doing that shit. I gotta talk to the guys.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
I'm busy.
It sounds like John's mad at you.
No,
Yeah,
this is like Dean and Jerry getting back here.
Right. No, it sounds like he's upset that you didn't have like this integrity that he had. 10 years he worked on it. To you it wasn't 10 years. You stepped into gold.
Yeah.
Clover.
This was John's dream. Am I right, John?
Well, it wasn't.
Who's saying?
Wiggy's the one saying all this. That's the awkward part. Like this is just the Howard.
He did it with Robert Plant. He did
Totally.
the same thing. He does.
I understand. You were when you recorded Stairway to Heaven. You were pissed off in the studio. Is that right?
Could you imagine if somebody did this to Howard?
It just totally sandbagged him on a talk show.
Yeah, and just said, so your wife divorced you. It was pretty quiet in the press, but from listening back and being a fan, it sounded pretty contentious. And I heard your kid overdosed at a Jingle Ball when she was under your care. And then all of a sudden you picked up a prostitute and then you were married?
Yeah, you bought a prostitute at Mercedes and never sued the paper. What's that about? You also I heard you got caught, your stylist got some condoms for you in the trailer and you were changing in front of him all the time. What's that about? You fucked your stylist?
I heard you got kicked out of spa because your stylist / gay lover was selling ecstasy in the bathroom.
Yeah, didn't you hook up with a paid escort that someone's being escorted at this thing and you decided like I needed a beard real cheap? What was that about, dude?
Yeah.
Like
it was sort of like the cartoonist dream.
Right.
It was the first cartoon that was completely designed, directed, and written by cartoonists in about 30 years. So kind of the whole industry was hanging on it.
Right.
And it all crumbled because of Billy.
So you're saying Billy has no artistic integrity?
Well, Billy's not an artist. He's not one. Well, he's an artist in a different sense, but he's not a.
Well, Billy claims to like care about cartoons and everything, right? That's like your big love.
I do, but I'm called to perform vocally. I mean, I don't draw, and I'm not.
Yeah, he's not a creator. He's literally a guy that they hired to do voices. That's it. They give him copy, he reads it. And he does whatever talent. So he is an artist. He's a vocal artist, but that's it.
Isn't this the asshole who claimed to care about comic books? And then when Dr. Drew did the thing where he so lovingly gave him, old school comic books, Mad magazines, whatever, he just, disposed of them and didn't give a shit about them. Yeah.
Yeah, and denigrated the gift anyway. It was like, Jesus, okay, we know what happens to gifts to Howard.
Not an animator.
Right.
Wrecked the industry. I didn't realize I was such a powerful man in the industry.
I'm going to ask this girl over here what John really feels. Because John, what does John say?
Why don't you ask John? Why doesn't John say anything? Because John knows you're full of shit. John knows he's full of shit. And he's going to sound like a retard here. Anyway, we'll hear what the tag-along has to say.
Private.
Come on.
I think he's healing.
Do you think he's healing? Was he really mad at Billy?
I want to see them kiss, though.
Was he really mad at Billy, though?
Will I get fired?
No, you can be honest. Come on, it's freedom of speech.
From what I hear, I wasn't around when it happened, but from what I hear, it was, he was there at the top of the pack, yeah.
No kidding.
Am I right?
Well, I think the most entertaining incident was.
Just had to break that off, guys, just for a moment. So you see, that's Billy holding the mic to this assistant's face, and it's so awkward. Jesus Christ, are you getting the same like you got? Not that you got to take a shower, but you're looking at like anything you can do to just break up the ice.
It feels like you walked into something that you didn't realize was going to happen. Like you're sitting at a dinner party and all of a sudden somebody's like, so, and they look across the table, tell me about what happened with so-and-so. And they didn't know they were going to get sandbagged. It's just the most awkward thing in the world. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, if you've ever been at dinner with, like, it's like the Rainbow Room with Fred. Have you ever been at a dinner with a couple and they start fighting or they start arguing in front of you and you cannot disappear fast enough? You can't slink under the table. You can't go to the bathroom and because you've got your stuff there. You know, you can't just, I got to get my car's I'm going to get double parked or whatever. Like I'm going to get towed. So it's and
but it's also it's just totally like he could have presented this in a way that wasn't so contentious, I guess. Like
awkward.
Yeah, it's just like, why are you presenting it, first of all, false?
Right.
And then you're building on a false narrative to ramp somebody up. So I think it could have been presented in a way that was true and you could have actually had a conversation which was real. Like, okay, if say he was on Rogan, they could have been like, what happened?
Yeah.
Tell me what happened. And then
Tell
they
us
could
your
have talked
side.
it out.
Yeah.
And then it could have been an actual real moment. But this is just like, this feels like I need to pretend I have to go to the bathroom and not come back.
Billy on Conan O'Brien.
Right.
Describing how he created Ren and Stimpy. I thought that was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I never did that.
Well, I mixed in a little bit of Kirk Douglas with Peter Lorre and threw in some Burl Ives and came up with John.
I described
So that
what
hurt,
the voice was. They asked me what it was, and I used to describe what all the elements were because I got the original descriptions and everything, and when I was asked to perform the characters, that's what I had to go off.
Right.
You know.
Are there pictures of Billy in your house with darts in them?
No.
He just wants it to be negative. Go ahead.
So somebody gave you a description of a character, right? So that would be like an actor saying, you have to be, let's take Sharon Stone in Casino. You have to be bubbly, then manipulative, sly, drug addict, drunk, sexy, this and that. You have all these, markers that you have to hit, and you have these adjectives that describing the character.
That's right.
And she performs the character and gets the Oscar. Do you think the person who wrote the adjectives for the character stands up and says, "You fucking bitch, like you stole my character"? No.
Right. I mean, there's certain people.
No, he did it. He made the character with his voice.
Right.
The character wouldn't exist. You can describe a character all you want, but until somebody puts that characterization to vocalization, there is no character.
Right. So, like, this is a bad example, but let's say, for example, the song "Nothing Compares to You." Prince wrote that for a group called The Family that he was producing, and it was released, but it wasn't a big hit at all. It was not even chart. And then Sinead O'Connor covers it, and it becomes associated with her, and it's a huge hit. It doesn't mean she's not a talent. She is a talent. He wrote that, and it was credited to him, of course, obviously, and he got a bit of a resurgence. Not a resurgence, he didn't need it, but his name was kind of thrown out there because they said, who wrote that? It's such a great song, and they find out it's Prince. And she kind of resented that fact that she did a cover that was bigger than anything she had released and bigger than anything since, and it was an albatross around her neck. Now, with this John Case situation, what he's not really admitting is, I fucked up. He has got too much ego to say, I screwed up. And Billy doesn't want to say it because he's trying to be nice. That's what I can take away from it.
And Billy didn't say he made the character. He was asked, how did you go about doing this character? And he went through the vocal process of making the character, which you read what's on the page and then you go with your own creativity.
Right. So they're trying to paint it like,
problem?
Okay, I made this from scratch. No, I went with what they gave me, and this is what I came up with. And if they liked it, they liked it. What are you going to say?
It's creative.
What do you want me to tell you?
That's an audition. That's everybody. They make the character, and the people who don't, you don't get hired.
Like in The Usual Suspects, Benicio del Toro, there was nothing on the page. He just dies on whatever page, and he decided, can I make this character up that you can barely comprehend? And it became famous. Like, he was quoted, and people love that character, even though he has almost nothing to do in The Usual Suspects. He just except to die, and people quote from it. So that's genius. Like, that's the genius. That's what the actor brings to it. In this case, this is what the voice actor does.
Correct.
Yeah, could you imagine? Do you know the story about Shrek, that Chris Farley was originally signed to be Shrek?
I didn't know that.
It was created to be his design with him in mind, but there wasn't enough in the cutting room. Like they just didn't record enough of him. So Mike Myers eventually got the gig. But could you imagine how much funnier Shrek would have been with Farley as Shrek?
Yeah, I can't even picture it.
Oh God, would have been. It's like, please go away, let me sleep for the love of God.
I know.
God, he was my favorite.
But you said Billy's name in conjunction with curse words before.
Right. So he used to go around cursing out Billy and stuff?
No, Billy was trapped. Come on. He was doing like.
Yeah, you're
50 other
backpedaling. The girlfriend here. Is this your girlfriend?
Assistant.
But you guys make love, don't you?
I don't think so.
Really? Yeah. John's making love, and I think. Do you make love with her?
He has a lovely girlfriend.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, she's underage, and she's. We'll find out about this later. Dating a fucking 16-year-old. I don't know what state that's underage in, but I'm sure isn't that underage in some states?
Yes.
Jesus Christ Almighty! What a fucking creepola. Here we go.
I'm sure they have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Animator also.
So John.
Eleanor, do you hear me?
So John was really pissed at Billy. That's cool. I like that.
Why?
Pretty icy.
Did you see that look in his face? Like just glee. Absolute glee.
It's like a Christmas story when he finds the Red Rider.
In here.
Wow, yeah. I like all the tension. I live on this. I'm not going to any commercial breaks, I'll tell you that. I'm not paying you for that. What?
The guys from E were telling me, I guess John's a pretty interesting guy.
Yeah.
They said that E, I guess, went over to interview him recently.
Yeah.
And he was doing a reading from I guess he's working on a new cartoon.
Yeah.
And I guess he really gets into it when he reads. And they said that he just went wild and started throwing lamps against the wall and breaking tables and stuff while he was doing his reading within the character.
Really, John?
Me, I'm a mild-mannered sort.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Method voice acting? Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm.
This is a little disturbing. I mean, what was that one line? I'll tell you real quick. Dustin Hoffman, when he was doing Marathon Man, and the character had to be out of wind, like out of breath, so he ran around the block like 5 times. And then Sir Laurence Olivier, when he came back, Sir Laurence Olivier says, "My dear boy, why don't you just act?"
Right, like or like, you know,
method acting bullshit. I gotta pull hairs out of my nose to cry. Just give me the drops. I'll fake it.
Got it.
They got a tape.
Can you do that reading?
George. Do George for them.
He looks like George?
Brewing now.
Let me see. It looks like
Give me
you're.
the George
He looks like a serial killer. You look like you're ready to kill somebody, John.
He's percolating.
I can't get a read on you.
Do what George would
He's
do.
shooting looks at Billy, I'll tell you that.
Oh, man.
You want to kick Billy's
Billy and
ass?
I are pals.
Yeah.
I'm in the firing line. He's a big man now.
So, John, you're really into cartoons, right?
Yeah, I like cartoons.
Yeah. Let me hear this guy, George. Let me see you do that.
Can I do the opening to our new George Liquor cartoon on Fox?
Just do a little bit. I mean, okay.
This is funny. They came in. We're 18 minutes into the video, and this is where this is him plugging the fucking show. Like you brought him in to plug it, but this is you crowbarred the Billy shit. Christ Almighty!
I know.
If I were Billy, I would have been fucking throwing shit at Howard Pictures.
The way they're talking about this, it's like Charles Dickens being pissed off that George C. Scott is performing as Scrooge. Like, fuck you! How dare you? Like,
I didn't write it like that.
Yeah, this belligerent drunk. We can barely get out of the trailer to perform.
Yeah, poor George. Yeah, he liked his booze. That's for sure.
Crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
But I want to get into it, though.
All right, get into it.
All right.
We might tear up the studio.
Is it dangerous?
Well, let me show you.
Oh, this is George?
This is George Liquor, American.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
Real manly.
Good drawing.
Guy, huh?
Hey, I'll do the voices. Want me to do some voices?
Oh no, please, God, no.
Please, let's hear some fucking Howard. Kermit voice. I'm gonna play my Kermit voice. Oh, you mean your voice, Howard? Okay, sure.
I won't screw you like Billy did. I won't be a little backstabber. Hey, I'll quit if you quit. Seriously.
All right. You're hired.
Hello. Hi. This is George. How you doing? Hey, eat me. Oh.
So he goes into his shitty Jackie impression. From a shitty, I don't know what impression, to a shitty Jackie impression. Calls Billy a backstabber.
You're going to have to take my face out of my hands.
And this was put on video, no less. That's just, ooh, Nelly.
How's that? You like that voice?
It's great.
Let me hear you.
This one. You're perfect.
Hi, this is George. How you doing? You like that voice? I can do the same stupid crap Billy does.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
This reminds me of when Hank Azaria was in.
Yes. Oh, God,
he was
great
like,
clip.
he was like, no. Howard kept, trying to run through the impressions.
Yeah.
And it was just like, no, no,
That was
no,
pretty
and no.
He literally said that was pretty bad, Howard. That stuck a knife in his heart.
Oh, look, this is George. How are you? Yeah, how's that? Oh, that's real hard.
Well, let's hear what George is supposed to
Let me hear what
sound
George is
like.
supposed to sound like. You work, George. All right, go ahead.
Hello, I'm George Liquor, American. Today's story is the lesson of meat. Now let me tell you about meat. I don't care what you're reading in those women's magazines. Meat is good for you.
So
Jesus, now I understand why they got rid of him. that was pathetic. It just sounded like some shithead Phillies fan getting fucked up at the concession stand.
It literally sounds like anybody Richard interviewed at an Eagles game.
Or at Rocklahoma.
What the fuck?
In other words, George is a guy who is not afraid to like meat.
Oh, no, meat is...
Right, he's an all-American.
He's a meat eater.
He's a meat...
Oh, I get the idea. Okay. Well, where's this going to air, George?
On Fox.
Oh, yeah, it's brilliant. It's because it's against Billy.
That's a better deal than Nickelodeon. Now, what happened when Nickelodeon fired you? Did they still have to pay you? Because you own the idea.
Yeah, we tricked them into giving us a cut.
Yeah, well, you have to get a cut because didn't you create Ren and Stimpy and all that? Yeah. See, Billy?
So you didn't take all the money.
But it broke your heart because you felt the quality of Ren and Stimpy went downhill once you left.
Well, it broke our bank for a while.
Right. But Billy profited greatly off your leaving.
Billy, did you realize the carnage?
Now, check out Billy's face, his expression. It's like stone face, and it's brilliant because he's not giving Howard anything. He's really not giving him.
And Robin said, did you realize the carnage? And he just gives literal stone cold fuck you eyes over to
totally gray rocking it, and he'll tell you later on that he understood what Howard wanted, and if he gave it to him, he'd be the loser. So this was the only way to combat that. I find it actually quite admirable when you consider this is an ex-alcoholic. Actually, Billy West had a big alcohol problem, and he credited Mel Karmazin for helping him actually, which I thought was noble considering Mel was probably one of the ones decided no, he's not getting any more money. But he decided.
Would you be mad at Gene Wilder for finishing a film because Richard Pryor was so fucked up on heroin? You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, Billy was hiding a secret.
If I was Richard, or if I was like a guitarist and they brought in somebody else to finish my solos for the album because I was too fucked up, like Ace Frehley.
Yeah, like look at this guy, and he's promoting this awful cartoon.
Right. I mean.
Yeah, it's genius.
Well, there's certain things. The other thing that people don't seem to realize is that some artists in any field only don't have much to say. So past one good film, one good album, one good book, they kind of live off of that, and there's countless, like not just talking one hit wonders, talking about, directors that never quite did it after a certain point, whatever. So it's not unheard of for a person to have a huge hit and then fucking nothing whatsoever afterwards, because especially in that industry. It's not unless you're a part of a trend. Like if you're part of a Walt Disney Association, you have that you have that to fall back on. But if you're independent, you're trying to come up with some kind of successful sitcom, whatever. You can't always be Chuck Lorre. You can't be Dick Wolf getting all these CSIs on. You don't have name recognition, which brings power. Then you add all that fucking behind the scenes drama, and you're not going to have a push. You're not going to have success further on down the line with another sitcom. Sorry, John K. That ain't going to work.
No.
So here we go.
Left in your wake?
Yes, I did, Robin.
Ooh, and you had no remorse.
No remorse.
You slept every night like a baby.
Like a baby.
Right. And you watched Billy on Conan and you were steaming, huh?
Actually, I didn't watch him. We have somebody
taped
monitoring my career, are you? Watching me a little too closely?
I like that Billy has a whole thing going on. Billy's a little backstabber. I have to keep that in the back of my mind. Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I'm amazed he didn't fucking throw the headphones at him. Like, you cunt.
I'll get you.
Yeah.
So, he'll have created this.
Yeah. Yeah, so what happened when who was in charge of taping Conan? Was that your job?
Oh, no, that was long before my time.
Oh, but you heard about it.
I keep hearing about it, yes.
Yeah. Because, John, you created the voice of Ren.
Well, no, I stole it. I stole it from
Peter Lorre, but it was your...
Oh, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Or it was your idea to use the Peter Lorre voice, not Billy's.
No. Right.
And you were mad because Billy was going on there
Billy didn't
saying...
even give you credit.
Billy should have credited the great John K., right?
When Billy goes on
He was Stimpy. He wasn't Ren.
Yeah, he fucked that up.
So, no.
You can't remember who created Ren?
No.
Oh, man.
Well, I always say, don't do business with short guys, John. I always say it. They're always...
Oh, my Lord. Jesus Christ, digging himself further in. And totally indicting himself. And this will all come into play, guys, when we start playing those Where's Billy calls. When we start playing the I don't give a fuck about Billy, he left. Like, he doesn't say Billy's name in that situation, but you'll hear the audio.
He's angry.
You fell into the trap.
And John's a nice, tall man. Gentle.
And got plenty of hair. Billy resented you right from the very beginning.
Billy kicked your ass in his own way.
Targeted.
Maybe he can't beat you up,
Saw him coming.
Yeah.
Nothing about you, Lex.
That's right. Wow. A lot of tension in this room, isn't there?
Get Billy to kiss John.
I think we should take a bath together.
Oh, for fuck's sake. It's as cringe. You can see why people were fascinated with the train wreck, though, right? Like fans.
I'm so uncomfortable that I can't really talk. I'm sorry.
This doesn't always happen. We're at a loss for words, but sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes I bite my lip and just sit back like I don't know what to do.
It was just like that. It reminded me of that one Richard Pryor line. He goes, I fucked my old lady's my girlfriend, and I confessed. I told her I had the guilties. I thought she knew. And she go, have you seen Ethel? I did it. Did what? I fucked Ethel.
I don't even know what to say. I just feel that clench like
Can you imagine like Billy's wife at the time is hearing this at the time? She's going to soon come into play. And what do you imagine she's fucking saying? I just wish I had a fucking microphone at her, like a parabolic mic in her apartment going, you fucking pelican asshole cunt twat.
Well, everything Billy doesn't say, I hope he hears this and knows we love him and we're doing this for you.
Mm-hmm. Even though, like, I was one of the first on the Jump the Shark thing to say, like, my favorite era is the Artie era, but it's not the best. I still think the Billy West Jackie era is the absolute pinnacle of the show. I don't think many people who went through it and listened to it subsequently would disagree with me.
I think I have different emotions for both, but I think the best is the Billy era and the Artie era. Like I can't choose. I just like them. I can't like them both, but I do think Billy's comedy is just smarter. It's smart, savvy, ironic, smart.
And he was so fast. He was so goddamn quick on the uptake. And I mean,
liked it too because he just lessened Howard's role in it.
Totally.
And I liked that now in retrospect. I didn't realize what he was doing, but he did it so well.
Well, yeah, and you can't make the mistake of marginalizing Howard on his own show because you're going to get his wrath. And all you need is for a Ben Stern to say, that Billy, he's some talent, and never say that about his own son.
See, Howard
same reason he hates Seinfeld, because Ben loved Seinfeld.
Yep, and he could easily take Artie's comedy, because Artie's comedy was based on stories and whatever, he's quick, but he could manipulate that too easily and become a part of that, and it it became too embedded. But Billy's was so separate.
Yes, it was sort of like its own mother. Like it was given, he gave birth to it, and he had ownership of his own sort of niche, but it just occupied the right amount of space in the show.
Yes,
and perfectly.
The film.
Can there be a hug, or you're too angry?
I'll hug Billy.
Yeah.
Choking and hugging are two different things.
All right, go ahead. Billy, sit on John's lap.
Like a puppet.
Like a puppet.
Give him a spanking.
Yeah.
Take your pants down.
Go ahead, hug. You guys ought to make up. Come on.
Over the knee.
Come on. There's no more animosity? You forgive Billy about the Conan appearance?
There you go.
Billy, you want to apologize or something? Or you don't feel you have anything to apologize for?
No.
No?
No, I'm a craftsman, Howard.
You're a craftsman?
Yeah.
All right.
Applying my craft. God damn it. Do it into the mic.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
John, don't you think he should say he's sorry?
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. And
I can tell from your face. You're just like, let me escape.
I'm cringing to death. I can't. And I just the forced of it. And
yes,
I hate the way he keeps saying Conan. It's Conan. Conan O'Brien. Conan.
And look at the backdrop.
Conan the Barbarian. Conan.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Jesus Christ.
Sorry a little bit?
He's not allowed to apologize.
Do you think he has something to apologize for? Seriously. Do you?
That's a yes.
In all seriousness, you do. He should apologize for taking your voice and doing it.
Oh, God. I need to hide under a bed.
You're stuck in a family conversation at the dinner table that you cannot escape because you're against the wall and there's people on the other side of you, and in order to get up you have to make you basically have to jump over.
I'm in Home Alone 1 where it's like the pizza party and you're just like the kid who just wants a fucking slice of pizza, and I don't want to talk to Uncle Jack. Just like leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Not sticking by the crew, right?
Right.
I don't see it that way.
You don't? You don't?
Apologize. Come on,
Just apologize.
You've been bad.
You won't apologize?
No.
No. All right.
No. See, you thought I didn't have principles. I do.
Yeah, the principal is in his bank account.
Let me ask the assistant, because you guys are obviously having a hard time. Do you think Billy should apologize?
I think Billy should kiss John's butt.
No, come on.
Whoa.
What, for giving him the job, you mean?
Into the mic.
Oh my fucking Lord. And Robin, of course, there's no neutrality. Nobody's Geneva in this fucking situation.
Oh my God. If this were a summit, we'd have a nuclear war. My God.
Okay, so
Holy
this is
shit. And then, by the way, Robin, do you think Howard should apologize? I mean, could you imagine if somebody said to Robin, or somebody said, hey, Howard, don't you think you should apologize to Robin after her return to NBC?
Yeah.
No?
It's not. No. Why? What did I do? I got my own gig. Fuck her. Now, by the way, everybody, back then she wasn't being represented by Buckwald. That was later. That was when she got to WNBC. Now, here's the thing. This thing takes place 1995, June 21st. So Billy's on another July, August, September, October, November. He's on basically 4 more months, and then he's gone. And I believe from the station, not just the Stern show, and got better gigs, and of course went up onwards and upwards, as we all know. But so he didn't leave them high and dry, but this was clearly one of those things that, that turning point where you just, all of a sudden, that person's a cunt. I can't go back. I'll do my job. I'll do what I have to do. But this is the exact point Artie took. He hit during his tenure there, that's where he let himself get fucked up. I'm sorry. I'll never not believe that. I don't think it was just drug addiction. I think it was, I don't care anymore. This guy's made it easy for me to not care.
There's a turning point with, I think, really talented people who don't just carry Howard's water, who know that they are viable talents.
Sure.
Who are being abused. And I think they hit this turning point, and Artie hit it, Jackie hit it, and so did Billy, where it's like, I'm not going to carry your fucking water anymore.
No.
I'm not doing it.
Right.
Fuck you. And
Where's
I think
the value?
Artie hit that point like a couple of times, but the bro fight was definitely one. Gary's dinner was definitely one in funeral. But his dad's funeral, I think there was a few points where it was just like, no. And when you realize the person that you looked up to, who gave you the opportunity, the person that, it's like that person, you know, I'm going to give you candy and I'm going to, you know, give you ice cream and do all these nice things for you. And then I'm going to take you into my basement and fucking rape you in the ass. You know the point where you're like, no, you're not going to keep doing this to me. I'm not going to be abused anymore. You're a bad person. And I think every talent realizes he's a bad person. Now, why people stay? The people who stay is because they don't have any other talent.
That's correct.
And they know that they have nowhere else to go.
Right. And the first chance they get to get a better gig, like Stuttering John, they would go for it. And that's what really bothers Gary and Fred and, well, more really Fred, but Gary, Robin, that John got away and did better. Even though he might be a wet brain asshole now, Einziger went away and did better. And
the people who are talented get away. And they all hit that point where they're like, you're not a good person.
Yeah. And like, this is so this kind of takes this particular show isn't going to be a So Long Farewell in that category. It's going to be a kind of on its own. It's going to be a Little Bastard episode, but it's in the same vein in a way, because Billy obviously doesn't leave until much later, but this is sowing the seeds of his eventual departure. And I don't fucking blame him. We're Team Billy all the way.
But I mean, why?
Well, because he took over the voice. He shouldn't have done it.
Yes,
He shouldn't have.
I thanked him for doing good work while I worked for him.
Right, and then he continued to work for these other people.
Thanks that anybody would get from me.
You shouldn't have worked for them.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, who's going to help
Who's
me out?
paying you?
Yeah, exactly. And like, what is this? This is incredibly awkward. I can't even, guys.
You assistant cunt. Who would you? Are you paying my salary when I walk away?
Yeah,
are you guaranteeing me a job with benefits and a salary?
Right.
For a voice job?
Are you John
Lady
K's
in the
Robin?
corner, assistant, fuck, pretend, whatever. Who cares what you have to say?
This is just like that scene in Braveheart when Patrick McGowan, the king, goes, "Who is this person who speaks to me as though I needed his advice?"
Yeah. It really is. It's, you know, it's Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada. Like, I'm sorry. Who?
Yeah.
I'm looking for work.
Yeah, who helped out 50 people who didn't have jobs because of
I'm
that.
not responsible for those 50 people. I didn't create the situation.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. That's right. Shut your fucking mouth.
That's the only regret I have about this particular episode, that they were not allowed to curse. But well, they could have, but they would have bleeped it out. But if I were Billy, Jesus Christ, I would have just laid waste to the place, including John Kay, his assistant, Howard,
sorry.
Robin, everybody.
I hear a voice. Who's talking to me?
Right.
Who are you?
Exactly. And it would have been unprofessional, but you cannot treat people like that and not expect there's to be some kind of retribution.
Billy, you better.
And in Billy's case, it was success. It was greater success.
And this lady is some sort of like quasi assistant to this guy. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I would have told her to fuck off in 2 seconds.
Easily.
You better go sit down.
Yeah, okay.
John's going to kick your ass.
Wow. I'm a good fighter, too.
Oh, my. Hey, the girlfriend's really on fire.
Girlfriend. She's the assistant.
Whatever.
She's clearly too young. She's too old to be his girlfriend, apparently.
What a great assistant, by the way. What kind of assistant asshole are you?
Yeah,
Shut your mouth. An assistant
Exactly.
should just be getting you water and sitting in the goddamn green room.
Yeah, except if you're cornholing the boss like Ralph is when he comes in and talks, and he's the assistant.
Yeah, hubba.
Billy might need a mic for a weapon.
Jackie, isn't this great?
It's fun, unbelievable.
Fred, do you love this?
I'm getting chills.
Tension, and it's not even from Fred.
Robin, is there tension in the room?
Oh, please. I see icicles forming.
Really?
I can feel it all the way in here. I'm
Really?
in another room.
Now they're staring each other down.
I think the girl can open up the whole thing here.
Yeah, she knows more
She
than...
knows the...
Oh, for fuck's sake. I think Billy could
Let's
open
bring-
it all up if he wanted to.
You know what? We should just bring Allison in. Allison, Beth. Let's just open up the whole thing.
Exactly.
Let's bring Deborah in. Emily.
Let's bring
Anyone?
Emily in. Definitely Emily. Let's get her on Truth Serum and give her some Manischewitz. Come on, tell us what you know.
Zuza, you were never there.
Exactly.
She knows everything.
She's willing to reveal.
She doesn't know how much she's allowed to say. You know?
You could say whatever you want. I'm giving you permission.
Are you going to give me a job?
Yes. I'm going to give you Jackie's
Unlike
job.
Billy, we care if you have a job.
All right.
I don't know, but Billy looks awfully nervous. Is he always this nervous?
Well, I mean, it's uncomfortable for Billy. I mean, he's not usually in the spotlight.
Yeah.
He's usually...
Jeez, he's ready to take that fucking mic and whop her over the head with it, and I don't blame him.
Are you going to give me a job? What a what a climber you are, honey.
Is she even an assistant, for fuck's sake? No one knows. It's just you just brought this person in for what?
A floral potato sack you're wearing? Fuck off.
screaming about black people.
No,
and
he's
stuff.
a talented guy, but he
Right.
just can't do Ren very well. That's all.
Oh, so you feel? John did.
John did Ren better.
Well, he mixes them up. When I hear it now, it sounds like Ren is Stimpy, doesn't it?
John, is that true?
I don't see that many of them.
But the ones that you saw, did you feel that Ren?
It's a little bit like the Stimpy and Stimpy show.
It is. You feel both sound like Stimpy. Oh boy.
Can I tell you, kids don't notice.
No, they don't. And in fact, like when Mel Blanc had his son Noel do some commercials, like more like in the early 80s and stuff, just because they was just basic, really short 30-second clips of Bugs or whoever else. I didn't know. I mean, I could tell it sounded like maybe Mel had a cold or something like that when you hear Bugs Bunny. And it wasn't until later you find out that Noel did the voices, and he's clearly not his father. No one would ever be like Mel Blanc, for example. But and by the way, there's an amazing interview on YouTube, guys, with Noel Blanc talking about Mel, and it's one of the, I can't remember the exact link. I'll put it in the description, or I'll send you guys a link on the page, on the video when you see this. And an amazing life. Just so anyway, sorry.
Like Leonard Skinnard, you get people who can take over, who do a really good job. They're different, but they do a really good fucking job at taking over, like unbelievable. But as a child, you're not really aware of this. Like, I had no idea.
No, I don't think anybody would, really.
And who? The assistant is watching every episode on Snick on a Saturday night? What kind of loser are you?
She also called him Ren. Ren and Stimpy. Jesus Christ, the pronunciation issues in this whole room.
She's wearing this fucking dress I hate so much. It's those like Ashley dresses. They were like these Laura Ashley dresses in the 90s.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Acting him professionally.
Yeah, right.
He's a very talented
It's not
guy.
money now, it's talent,
I like Billy. Billy, I think you're talented.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's very...
Yeah, I went from calling you a backstabber. Now I think you're talented. This is Rickles shit Rickles again, making his appearance. I'm a nice guy.
very talented.
All right.
But
Okay.
just not in doing Ren, that's all.
I see. He's good at Stimpy.
Yeah, excellent.
Right. Well, this has been fun.
Well, all wasn't lost in the bathroom.
What?
I have a message for Billy.
What?
He has to call his manager/wife as soon as he gets off the air.
Oh, is that right? Why doesn't she come on here? Maybe she can take Billy's side.
Yeah,
in it.
that's what we need.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Did she have
The wife.
anything to do with the negotiation?
Oh man! And when I remember the first time I saw this, I go, "Please get on the air, because she will tear them all a new asshole." And she never did. I don't believe. Sam's look on Sam's face is so like stunned into submission.
Because I want to be that, like, I have your back person. Like, I want to be the rageaholic that I am.
negotiation when Billy?
Hey, was she involved in this at all?
No.
None at all.
Okay.
She is now.
Now she is.
She must have something to say now.
Gee, I had no idea you guys had this animosity.
You think V. West would have anything to say?
Oh.
Yeah, right. What is it?
Hi. Wait, hold on. This is Billy's wife. Hi, Howard. You had no idea? Then why did you set up this whole fucking secret bit, you fucking pelican asshole? Secretly gay wig-wearing hump. Are you fucking kidding me? How about you pay my husband enough so that he could have stayed on your show and have been a talent? No, you were too fucking jealous. So now he had to go do a cartoon voice, which he was successful at. And the creator happened to be a child molester, which he's hiding the secret from. So guess what? He decided that he was going to take on both voices. Good for him, because no one else is paying him. Are you paying him? Laura Ashley over there in the fucking corner assistant. How much are you getting paid? Are you going to pay him? Fuck you.
Thank you, Samantha West. It's wonderful. Let's put all our fucking cards on the table, guys. If V West, I was thinking it was actually Christine, Sal's wife, who called in and gave Howard shit about what he was wearing on some talk show. I love that clip.
The red.
Yeah, and he said he's dressing you like some 90210 like ripoff. Anyway, and I love that, because anytime someone takes Howard to task, he's almost completely flabbergasted. That's what we're missing here. We're missing someone to do exactly what Sam did and what V would have done had she gone on the air. But anyway, I digress. We'll play a little more.
His wife called up. Yeah. She goes, "You tell Billy to call me as soon as I go to break." I go, "Why, V? What's up?" "You tell Billy to call me as soon as I go to break."
What, these wives, why do they call in that now Billy's life is even worse?
You think it's bad that John is upset with him? Forget it.
Are you going to rush to call your wife?
It doesn't matter who's upset with you.
I know. My wife's upset with me, so join the club.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
Yeah, I'm sure she's upset at Billy. That's who she's upset at. Right. Mm-hmm.
Billy mean it doesn't matter who is upset.
Oh, it matters to him.
No, it doesn't.
Why do you have to call your wife?
I don't.
See where you started, John?
Yeah, Billy's saying he doesn't have to call his wife. It's the first thing he's going to do.
Robin, you're acting like a nut. I got a job to do.
I'm acting like a nut.
Yeah, but why is your wife involved in your job? How come my wife's involved in my job?
Because she's his manager, and that happens in all walks of life, where family is the manager.
I'm his wife. Your wife is involved in your job because your employment matters, because you will lose money, your house, your car.
That's correct.
I don't know. Kids' tuitions. What is he talking about?
Yeah.
Where's my wife? Where's my wife? By the way, his wife called him. He didn't involve his wife. His wife called him. And then all of a sudden he goes, "Why is your wife involved? Why do you have to involve your wife?" He didn't involve his wife, Howard. She called.
Organically. Yeah.
And I would fucking tore him a new asshole.
Oh God, and I'm sure that's why they didn't have her on. They say like she didn't want to get on the air, I think, but I think Wiggy was afraid to fucking have her on because she would have tore him apart.
Yeah, any listener listening, if you need me to have your back, just
get you in the rage.
Yeah. You're going to call V when you get off this.
Why are all these women involved in our jobs? Don't you dare call that wife.
Oh, he has to. He's got to go home. You want him to sleep on the floor?
I know. His wife wants to get in on this in the worst way.
And he's fucking look at Crazy Eyes. He's fucking dead afraid. He's afraid to put her on the line.
I have steam. If I was a cartoon right now and this were Ren and Stimpy, I'd have fucking steam pouring out of my ears.
Kettle's ready. Water's ready.
Caller.
Okay.
What is it?
V sounds a little upset, but basically she said, you ask Billy if Billy wants me. If Billy says he wants me to come on the air, then I'll come on.
We want him to come. We want him to come on
Billy.
the air. Yes, Billy wants her to come on the air.
Cool.
Right, Bill?
Billy doesn't care who's upset with him.
Billy wants her. This is good, John. His manager now is going to yell at you.
Yeah, you have an assistant here on your behalf. Billy now has his manager.
And this is not uncommon in show business. The manager is the one who is supposed to tell people off, not the talent, because then you can't blame the talent.
Okay? And I'm going to fly out there next week, and I am going to straighten your ass out. And I'm going to make sure that you really get it. I'm going to make sure that you know what a rude, thoughtless little pig you really are. Do you understand? You're a rude, thoughtless pig. So be ready on Friday the 20th, because I'm coming out there. I'm going to tell you this, then I'm going to turn around, I'm going to fly right back home. You are a rude, thoughtless pig.